Hello, all my fabulous Bicons, and welcome back. We are here for a Q&A with our Colorado Dragon Boat Film Festival with our fabulous entertainers and creators of I Put the Bi in Bitter. Hello, everybody.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. So we're just going to go through and I'm going to ask a series of questions, and feel free to jump in or you can take turns, whatever. We're just going to go with the flow today. So one of the main things that I wanted to ask today is really what inspired you to make this film series?
Yeah, so we really wanted to make something, we really wanted to make an LGBT story that was kid friendly and family friendly and lighthearted and cute and funny, because I realized while I was growing up and while a lot of LGBT people were growing up, I feel like a lot of the gay content we have, it's very dramatic, or it ends in tragedy, or it's sad, or if it is funny, then it relies on like sexual humor and it's R-rated and it's not really accessible to kids. So we wanted to make something gay that was for kids. And then also we wanted to make something about gay high schoolers that wasn't necessarily about them being gay. It wasn't really about them coming out. Like they're just being teenagers, they're having fun, going through life. And I think that's what's really fun about season 3 is that main character, Sam, it's not so much about like her telling her mom and like going through all of that stuff, but we're just like having fun at this point. So we had like a flashback episode and a pride episode and a play episode. We really just got to go all out.
Yeah, I think specifically inspiring this season 3, Maren and I both grew up, we were sort of like the new kids and we moved a lot. And we had this story of Naomi's character who was supposed to maybe move or maybe not. And we just kind of wanted to explore how that relationship affects friends and like romantic relationships specifically. And we actually wrote the first like draft of season 3 of her. People are going to watch this after they see it, right? So I'm not spoiling anything.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So yeah, like originally she was going to move. But then we decided we didn't know if we could make a season 4 and season 5. So we thought we'd wrap the whole thing up. And we were like, okay, well then she's not going to move. We'll just, have her stay. And so that's kind of what inspired, for me at least, I thought what season 3 was sort of about, was kind of wrapping everything up. And then also we introduced some other characters too.
Yeah, because Kelly and I, we co-wrote season 2 and season 3, so we kind of just worked through everything together. And also with season 3, since it was the end, we realized we want Sam and Naomi to have a happy ending. We were like, no, they can't break up. That would be too sad. And we like never see gay characters like end up happy in the end, I feel like. So that was important for us.
I hope that you have t-shirts made that say everyone named Sam is bi.
That's we don't have any merch.
Every time that I hear Sam's name, that's all that comes to my mind. I love that so much. There's so many different, little taglines and snippets of things that pop up. Another merchandise option is to have a face with emojis all around it. I'm just saying, it's just really wonderful to see all the inclusivity that happens on screen and showing teens and kids today of, what it is to be in an accepted world. How important was it for you all to have inclusivity on your set with people behind the scenes, creating, casting, all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that was so important to us. So I co-run a production company called Sad Girl Productions, and our entire point and our entire like goal with the company is to highlight minorities behind the scenes as well as on camera, because I feel like the crew is like so important in getting that message across. Like even if you have a great female-led story, if it's filtered through the lens of like male DPs, male producers, like that's gonna come through in the final product. So on set, we had majority women, majority people of color, majority people in the community working on the series, both in cast and crew. And I feel like that just made the whole environment while we were shooting that much more fun and inclusive. Like everyone who was working on it really got what we were trying to do. So yeah, it was great.
I wonder, oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then I was also saying, like, as a person of color, I was like, we need more people of color leads. So I'm so glad that all 3 of them. So Sam, she's Asian. Rihanna is also like half Asian, and then Evangelina is a woman of color, and it's so great, and I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what's it like for you guys when you're reading scripts? Like, do you think about that when you're going to audition? Rihanna and Evangelina.
Do we think about who they're hiring or
Yeah.
I think it's, yeah. I mean, I can't speak for Evangelina, but you can tell immediately by the way a character description is written how much care and thought they're putting into the representation they're trying to incorporate in their project. And you can tell almost immediately if it's coming from a place of performative allyship or from being truly about getting the story out and making it meaningful. So yeah, I would say it.
Yeah, no,
That's something I look for.
That. Yeah, like to go on with what you're saying. Whenever I'm trying to audition for roles and reading, you know, the sides that we get, even if it's only a few lines, I feel like I can kind of tell if they're looking for someone based off of a stereotype, or if they're really wanting my background to kind of shine through for the character and to add to the development and to add to the layers instead of just being the 5'3" brown girl that they want to cast just for diversity. You know what I mean? Like I want to bring something to the project instead of just being what I look like. So for this project specifically, I absolutely saw that it was all about personality and character, and then just also bringing diversity, but it wasn't just about the way that I look.
That was another fun thing about season 3 is that we introduced Naomi's sister. So we had to cast someone who looked like Evangelina. She's like a little girl and she's so cute and so funny.
Yeah, she was great.
Love that. Yeah, it's so important to have that inclusivity. And it's interesting because early on in my acting days, you know, you didn't turn down a job if you got the offer based on what the description was. So it's interesting to see now today when you're reading your sides and you're reading what the description is it, like you said, Evangelina, it's like, do you fit the description? Are they really genuine about the casting of this? And you can really see that when you're reading through that. And so I hope that more and more people, as they're creating projects, that they start thinking about that, and not just within the LGBTQIA community, but outside of that, you know, in the greater spectrum of the world, and when they're thinking about their casting choices.
Did we have descriptions in the first season, Maren, in the script? I think you guys
Yeah, we did. When I put out the casting call, I wanted Sam to be Asian, and then I wanted the other 2 leads to be people of color. So I just put like in parentheses like woman of color.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Actually,
we still got a bunch of white actresses auditioning too. I was like, I don't really know what role you're going for, but thank you.
Season 2, hit us up in season 2 for Rebecca.
They didn't read. My next question that I have is both for Rihanna and Evangelina. It's, what was your favorite part of filming this series? Do you have one moment that sticks out, or several, or just
I honestly had several, thinking about like all the fun that I had, because I genuinely, everybody that was behind the camera and in front of it, I genuinely felt like I was friends with. Like none of it was too tense, none of it was so, like, it was professional. It was definitely carried out professionally, which is one thing that I loved. But I think kind of acting off of each other, being in front of the camera, if we talk about that half, like I loved acting with the other 2 ladies on set, and I think that we really worked well with each other. None of it felt too dry or forced, so it really felt good. Like as an actor, I knew that we were doing good work, and then kind of more personally, I was like, wow, I actually really get along with everyone. For me, that's what.
Totally. No, I would totally agree with that. It was the moments in between takes where we would have to stop laughing in order to keep going. Those were my favorites, because that's when you know that whatever we're about to do in the next take is going to be something real, and it's based off of like a real friendship, and us not like phoning in the affection and the care and the joy of being around each other. We just really liked being around each other.
Yeah, I wanted to say every laugh that is in the show was a genuine laugh. Did we ever have to like fake a laugh in there?
No.
No, it was genuine. We were always in a good mood. Even if we showed up on set like kind of wishy-washy, like by the time we left, we were all like laughing completely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Of course, in pure Zoom fashion, phones ring, background noises. Everything happens at one time. I love that. But the beauty of Whitney being here, you can cut all that out on the cutting room floor.
Look, yeah.
So the last question that I have for everybody is, what do you want or expect from LGBTQIA media moving forward?
I would just love to see more kid-friendly content. I would love for people to normalize being gay while being young, because I feel like that's something that's so rarely talked about. Like we have so many teen TV shows, kid TV shows, where there are like romantic subplots, but then once it's like a same gender relationship, people like want to censor that. But kids growing up, if they don't see themselves on the screen, they might not even like know that that's an option. And I feel like it would just expedite, like especially for me personally, it would have expedited my process of figuring out what I was and like who I am if I had that representation growing up. So I really just hope we get more content out there for kids.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be great. For me, I want to see people moving past like tragic coming out stories. I just want characters, I want shows with gay characters that really has nothing to do with their gayness. Like I've just like been beaten to death with like most of the types of LGBTQ films that, you know, have in the past been written by straight people. So it hasn't even really been authentic. I feel like we're just now sort of getting into what it's actually like, the experience. But for me, like I've been out for almost 2 decades. So my life doesn't revolve around my sexuality anymore. It's you know, just something I don't even really think about. Most of my friends are gay and straight. Like it's just a world we live in now. And I'd love to just have representation in shows and movies where you're like, oh yeah, like I can kind of relate to that. You know, I can see myself in that character, but we're not exploring them coming out, or we're not exploring the world, like not understanding them. They're just living in that world as themselves.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, God bless Hallmark. Uh, they tried with their Christmas movies, but it didn't quite work. That's the thing though, is it's like, you know, everyone talks about normalizing queer culture on television, but really that's not even a terminology to use, because we're human beings, it's life in general. So let's have everybody on an equal playing field where we can watch a show and enjoy it and not really worry about what their gender or sexuality is. That shouldn't come into play when you're watching a good movie or good television. We should be able to figure out storylines that move past where we've been and move forward with your generation and younger, that we can make those changes happen.
Yeah. I saw a meme the other day that was like, how come you never see trans characters just in the background?
Yeah.
And I thought, like, for me, I was like, wow, that's true. Like if you see a trans character in a show, they're usually exploring what their life is or their experience. And it's like, yeah, I mean, there's all types of us out there just living amongst, you know, the world. And I would also love to just see more representation just in backgrounds and other things too.
Absolutely. Does anyone have any final thoughts that they'd like to share with everybody?
No, just I hope people enjoy it. And yeah, I mean, of course we'd love to keep making more seasons, but it, as an indie like film production, it just gets really hard with the fact that, you know, we can't pay people. So it's sort of like, you know, if they have other priorities, and people were moving, and the world has changed quite a bit actually since 2017 when we first started making this. So
what happens? I don't know what happens.
Yeah. Although I would honestly love to do like a quarantine special, because we could just get everybody on Zoom and check in with everyone. So
absolutely. I'm here for it. I think that should be season 4.
Okay, yeah.
The entire season.
Is everyone free? What's everyone doing? Yeah.
I mean, you're not doing anything. You're sitting at home in front of your computers. Just Zoom it. Zoom
exactly.
it in.
I have nothing else going on, so.
Well, wonderful. I appreciate all of you taking time today to talk to us. Thank you so much to Colorado Dragon Boat Film Festival. This is everyone from I Put the Bye in Bitter, y'all. I hope you had a good time. Go back and rewatch seasons 1, 2. You just watched 3, go back and watch that again. Support queer filmmaking in Colorado and around the world. And thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I love this festival, so.